The last time I went to the shop for an oil change, I was stunned. I thought it was going to maybe take 10 or 15 minutes. Turns out it took 2 hours. The worst was yet to come though whenever I got the bill. $108 for an oil and filter change? Couldn't believe it. I was used to the old $30, $35 oil changes, so I had to do something different. It was then that I decided that I was going to do my own research, and I took matters into my own hands, and I was going to do my own oil changes. How hard could it be? Turns out, not that hard at all. In this training today, I'm going to show you how, just like I did, you can save money, time, and have a little bit of fun learning how to change the oil on your Gen 12 Toyota Corolla.
Alright, so before we get started, let's talk about the tools that you're going to need. I'm not going to lie to you, there's going to be a bit of an investment up front to get the tools that you need, but once you have the tools, you'll be saving money every time you change your oil. And even better, you get to control the quality of the parts and oil going into your car now. So in the long run, it's going to pay for itself by giving you both cheaper oil changes and a prolonged life of your car. Let's go over the one-time purchase tools that you'll need to perform your oil change. Now personally, I like to use ramps because I find them very easy to use, but you also can use a floor jack with jack stands. In order to keep your car from rolling back once it's elevated, you'll want to use 2 wheel chocks on the back 2 wheels of your car. Now, any socket wrench will work, but I like to use a torque wrench to make sure I'm not over or under torquing the bolts. You'll also need a 14mm socket. If your socket and torque wrench are incompatible with each other, you may need adapters. You'll also want to get an oil wrench for tightening and loosening the oil filter. If you want to get the oil into the engine without a spill, then you'll definitely want a funnel. Many Corollas come equipped with protective covers underneath, so you'll need something to remove the screws there. There's actually a lot of options to get these removed. You can use a Phillips screwdriver. I'm going to be using a power drill though. And lastly, you're going to need a drain pan to collect the old oil from the engine. You probably also want to throw in some paper towels and some gloves if you want to prevent a mess. With the one-time purchase tools in your inventory, you're ready to go. For the actual oil change, you're going to need the oil filter, and the drain plug gasket. Make sure that you get the ones recommended for your vehicle as listed in your owner's manual. For my 2021 Corolla SE, the recommended oil is 0W16, but I know that some other Corolla trims use 0W20, so double check your manual. Personally, I like to go with Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic. It's high quality and hasn't let me down. But you can use whatever brand you like, as long as it meets the spec. Far more important than the brand of oil you use is how often you change your oil. While manufacturers often recommend oil changes every 10,000 miles, I aim for every 5,000 or even a bit sooner. Your engine will thank you in the long run. For the filters and gaskets, I just like to get mine from the dealership. They're usually cheaper there and they're guaranteed to be high quality. Alright, let's get started. First, we need to get the car safely lifted so we can access the drain plug and oil filter. I'm using ramps for this job. They're quick, stable, and perfect for oil changes. If you're using a floor jack and jack stands instead, just make sure you're on a flat, solid surface and follow all safety procedures. Once you've driven up onto the ramps, don't forget to engage the parking brake. That's a critical safety step, especially since we're about to get under the car. After you've made sure your parking brake is engaged, place your wheel chocks behind the rear wheels. Some cars are equipped with a cover over the oil pan and filter that you may need to remove. You can use a screwdriver or drill or just about anything you want to remove the cover. In order to collect the old oil, we're going to put a collection pan underneath the drain plug. Here's a little tip though, push the pan back a bit farther than you might think, because when the oil comes out, it's going to come out with a little bit of force and a bit of range. Better to catch it now than to clean it up later. Once your oil pan's in place, take your 14mm socket and loosen the drain plug. After that, switch to your fingers to unscrew it the rest of the way. That plug can get a bit slippery if you linger, so try to get your hand out of the way quickly to avoid a mess. As our old oil is draining, which could take up to 10 minutes, we're going to take our drain plug and remove the old gasket. You can wipe off the old oil from the drain plug if you want, then you're going to put on the new gasket. Once it's on, coat the new gasket with fresh oil. Once the old oil is fully drained, we're going to put our plug with the new gasket back in. We're going to start by twisting it with our hand, and then once we get it to a point we can't tighten it anymore with our hand, we're going to use our torque wrench to tighten it down to about 27 foot-pounds of torque. That's the spec recommended by my Toyota dealership. You don't want to overdo it and ruin the pan, and you don't want to underdo it and leak oil. Use your filter wrench to loosen the old filter. Once you've got it loose enough, go ahead and unscrew it by hand, once again watching out for the old oil coming out. Before installing the new filter, take a dab of the fresh oil and rub it around the rubber gasket ring. This helps it to seal properly and makes it easier to remove the next time. Screw the new filter into place by hand until it's snug, then give it a little extra turn with your filter wrench. Just a little bit past hand tight is just fine. Before you move on, double check that everything is sealed up, make sure nothing is leaking around the drain plug or filter, and if you had to remove a protective cover earlier, go ahead and reinstall that now. Now that everything underneath is good to go, it's time to add the fresh oil. Using your funnel, pour in the oil recommended by your owner's manual. For my SE model Corolla, that's about 4.9 quarts of 0W16, but if you're driving a different trim, like many LE models, you may only need around 4.4 quarts. As always, double check your manual to be sure. Once you've added the new oil, screw the oil cap back on securely. Alright, we're almost finished. Now, remove the chocks and carefully back off the ramps or lower your jack and jack stands and make sure the car is sitting level. Then pull the dipstick, wipe it clean, reinsert it, and pull it out again to check the oil level. You'll want the oil to be in between the two dots on the dipstick, not below and not way over. Before we wrap up, there's one last important step: resetting your oil maintenance light so your dashboard isn't constantly reminding you that you need an oil change. Here's how to do it. Turn the car to the on position, doesn't matter if the engine is on or off. Use the steering wheel controls to go to the settings on your dashboard. Scroll down and select Vehicle Settings, then go to Scheduled Maintenance and choose Reset Data. Confirm the reset, and just like that, your oil change reminder is cleared and you're finished. And there you have it, your oil change is complete. Before you head out for that first drive, don't forget the cleanup. Dispose of the old oil properly. Most auto parts stores will take it off your hands for free, and some even take the used filter. Keep your work area tidy and wipe down any tools or surfaces that got a little messy. Trust me, a quick cleanup saves you time later. Remember, doing your own oil changes is a great way to save money and ensure you're using the best oil and filter for your car. It gets easier with practice, and once you've done it a few times, you'll feel confident handling your car's maintenance like a pro.